Deer, one of the most reclusive yet revered animals in the animal kingdom, are present over the vast array of habitats in North America. For centuries, the interface between deer and humans has always walked a very fine red line. It is on this line that differences between exploitation and conservation are drawn. In this video, we will discuss facts that you may have not known about these impressive yet destructive mammals. We will discuss reproduction, habitat, management, and laws and regulation. Black-tailed deer, or Odicoleus hemianus columbianus, are predominant deer species on the coastal foothills of central California. Distinguishable features consist of their tails being completely black or dark brown on top and white underneath. Their fur color ranges from reddish brown during the summer and brownish gray during the winter. Another noticeable characteristic is their stocky bodies and long, slim legs. A black-tailed doe weighs between 90 and 130 pounds, while a buck can weigh up to 200 pounds. Towards the end of October, bucks start what is called the rut, the pursuit of the female. Bucks will then secrete hormones as well as urinate down their legs to signal does as well as other competing bucks in the area of their mating territory establishment. These pheromones may also trigger females into heat, thus beginning the mating season from November to December. The gestation period of does lasts 7 months. Fawns arrive in May or early June, weighing anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds. Fawns are born with a spotted coat that allows them to camouflage and evade detection from any potential threat or predator. Male fawns leave the family group when they reach maturity at 18 months old, while females are sexually mature and independent at 2 years of age. As bucks develop, their most impressive feature is their antlers. Although commonly mistaken for horns, the antlers of a deer have an intricate process for creation, dehiscence, and regeneration, to where horns are permanent fixtures. During the breeding season, the antlers are hardened in order to mark territory as well as for sparring with rival bucks. Bucks will fight until the stronger of the two is victorious. This displays an act of dominance, which also shows fertile does their potential mating qualities. These bucks can potentially suffer entanglement of the horns, causing fatigue, dehydration, starvation, and ultimately, death.
Gonna believe it, we just watched this buck drop both its antlers.
As they progress into early winter, the pedicle connection at the base of the antler becomes weak, thus causing some of them to eventually fall off.
They got them running this hill, both of them at the same time, boom, fell off, walked right over, found them, nice buck.
The horns falling off eventually forms a scab commonly known as a button.
Can't believe it.
No less
Usually,
than.
they say they don't drop off at the same time, you know?
As the dawn of spring rolls around, the bucks have all lost their antlers and begin regeneration. These new antlers are covered in velvet, a soft layer of epidermis which aids in blood flow to the antlers while still being in regrowth phase. In the temperate heat of early summer, here in the Central Coast, the black-tail's antlers continue to grow. During the latter half of summer, the velvet starts to shed, and the polished hard antlers underneath is unshield. This is one of the only times where a buck will rub his antlers against trees other than in marking territory during mating season. This process helps in removing residual velvet. Once all the velvet has been removed, the buck is again ready for mating season in the fall. The cycle begins once more. Just like reproduction is an important part of a deer's life, habitat plays a crucial role in the survival of deer. Habitat's locations vary by species, but forested mountains and foothills of the Pacific coast are suitable habitats for a black-tailed deer. These creatures are not migratory mammals, and they typically spend their entire life in areas that measure less than 3 square miles. Once they have located a stable source of food and water, they will localize in a certain area and remain there until environmental or population pressures force relocation. Part of their diet include woody plants, grasses, and forbs. They also consume fruit, nuts, and ornamental trees, shrubs, vines, and garden vegetables. Deer trample plants and damage young trees and shrubs. Evidence suggests that deer are also causing additional negative impacts.
Oh, junk! Oh my goodness! I just hit a deer! Oh, junk! Oh! Oh, that poor! Oh my God! I was recording it. Oh my goodness! What just happened?
For example, it is estimated that more than 1 million deer vehicle collisions occur annually in the United States.
Where? There's another one. Oh! Damn it! Oh! I told you I was going down for it. Fuck!
Costing over $1.1 billion in repair costs and resulting in 29,000 human injuries and 211 human fatalities. Nationwide, deer have been recognized to cause more damage to agricultural crops than any other vertebrate wildlife species, costing farmers more than an estimate $100 million each year. Because most deer feed in the late evening and early morning, it is not easy to observe them. A good way to determine their presence is to look for hoof prints. Deer hooves are split, pointed at the front and more rounded at the rear, and are about 2 to 3 inches long. Deer droppings are another good indicator of their presence. Proper identification of deer presence can be important for prevention, eradication, and exclusion. A large part of management practices, and perhaps one of the most enjoyable, is hunting. The hunting season is ushered in tandem with the hardening of the horns. Hunting areas for deer are broken up in A, B, C, and D zone hunts. Zone A, a black-tailed deer season, begins in early August. Zone A is one of the biggest areas to hunt in California, spanning from Salinas to Santa Barbara. This season lasts for about a month and a half, ending right before the buck starts chasing the female and going into the rut. Heavy penalties as well as fines are issued liberally with any violation against the laws and regulation during this season, more so than any other game animal in the state. Although labeled in a game animal by the state of California, depredation permits can be acquired if significant damage is being caused by a deer in commercial settings. Obtaining a depredation permit can be a long process, yet if a grower qualifies for a permit, he or she does not have to advise the respective authorities of how the deer were eradicated. One of the most effective forms of management is constructing a deer fence around the area in distress. These fences should be 7 to 9 feet high and well fortified. The only problem associated with the deer fencing is the cost. They can be very expensive depending on how much area is being protected. A more cost-effective way of control is firearms. Although firearms are generally more cost-effective, many more safety precautions accompany it. When choosing which type of rifle is best suited for an efficient yet humane control, a general rule of thumb is using a caliber larger than a .243. Another form of control is pelleting. Pelleting is not as common as the previous options because it's not as appetizing as a field that they are trespassing onto. With any management plan, laws and regulations accompany it. Beginning with the 2015-2016 season, every purchaser of a deer tag or tags must report their harvest, even if they were unsuccessful or if they did not hunt. The California Department of Fish and Game provides a yearly handbook of mammal regulations. An image of Zone A hunting regions is shown. It is essential for hunters to fall in line with the laws and regulations set forth by the Fish and Game Agency to promote a well-regulated deer population control method. The information provided in this documentary is made with the intention to educate the public on the life of a black-tailed deer as well as the damages they may cause.